Welcome to Issues and Answers with your host, Diane. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane. What are the special times in your life when you had an adult interact with you? Not just tell you to brush your teeth or make your bed. We have all had adults who tell us that. But was it a favorite baseball toss that they did? Maybe you played kickball with adults saying, oh my gosh, they actually spent time with me. I mean, how significant is that? Have an adult pay attention to you when you're a young child. I'm sure that happened in your life. I know that happened in mine, and we still remember it. Well, adults can make a great impression on children, can demonstrate leadership, can demonstrate morals, and can demonstrate abilities to a young child. And again, that just raises your whole self-esteem and your whole world because someone paid attention to you. What if they read to you, take the time to actually sit down and read you a storybook? What does that mean? It means the world. Well, here in New Mexico, as adults, or someone who knows how to read, you don't have to maybe even be an adult, you can participate in a program where you can give that child the world. You can read with them. If you're a community leader, we can introduce you to Global Give a Book, which is allowing leaders in our community to be leaders with children and make a difference in their lives. Stay with us as we talk about Global Give a Book and how leaders can get involved and make a difference. Stay with us.
Hey America, now there's a place where we can join our voice, Real America's Voice. Real America's Voice is coming to a town near you with a grassroots approach, bringing the real voice of America together. Real America's Voice is growing our family of networks across the country, and soon you could be part of that change. Download the Real America's Voice app and join other Americans just like you across the country, coming together for real.
We have a literacy program called Global Give a Book. We've talked to the founder and CEO, Sylvia Maser, about this organization. But on this program today, we're going to talk about some of the world-known, world-renowned books, award-winning books, why they're chosen, what makes them award-winning, but also how leaders in the community, how you or your neighbor, if you want to tell your neighbor about it, can really participate in this program as a volunteer, but also as a person, a community leader who's going to read to kids. And Sylvia Maser,
yes,
how important is it for an adult to read to a child?
That is one of the most important things, but sometimes adults are busy and they have life in front of them, so they don't have the opportunity that they would love to read to a child. So we got a program that puts that responsibility to the child and encourages them to read 15 minutes a day to their pet dog, cat, or stuffed animal. And it's called Reading with Shepherd Daisy, which is a German Shepherd that does that. But back to what you said, it is important that the child even knows what a book looks like and what they can do with it. You mentioned the award-winning book. So I wanted to explain a little bit about what an award-winning book is. And this is something that my son Christopher, he's an avid reader. He reads books like nobody that I've ever known. He'll select them at the beginning of the year. And he was introducing me the sealed, which is a sealed that is a Caldecott sealed that most of our books have, like the cat that you have and this one. Yes, and that is given to the illustrator. And since we are dealing with pre-literacy, we want to make sure that the books are high quality. Pre-literacy are picture books. So the picture books are given an award.
And it's the Caldecott
Yes.
honor.
Yes, the Caldecott
It's a national honor, distinction.
It's a world distinguished award-winning for that particular. You have the Newbery that is for chapter books. That's more of a story, young children's story. But this one is specifically for the illustrators. And so we decided to go that route. Why? Because it's important that our children, just because they're low income, they've never seen a book before, doesn't mean they need a paperback book. We want this book, quality book, to go to the next generation.
So that child can give it to their
yes.
child.
I mean, if you had a good book, and it's falling apart, it doesn't become a good book. It goes in the trash. But if you have a good book, you can pass it on from one generation to the other. And that sometimes I feel that we're not thinking of our next generation, and this will help us do that.
And the quality, just the type of the illustrations, open that book again to say the paper that it's written on, the pictures.
Yes.
Of course, this one is actually, this is the big cat. It's kind of like black and white, which is fine, but still nicely illustrated. But this one's beautiful.
Big cat, little cat. And then I was showing you the lion and the mouse. Now, that is also an award-winning, and that's beautiful. That? And the reason, right here, and the reason I want to show this one off is because I call it my bilingual book. If you open the pages, you can see the artwork that went through. Yes, and so there's very few words. So when you have a 3-year-old that doesn't know how to read, they can definitely picture read, especially when the pictures are so vivid, so beautiful.
What's picture read?
Picture read is there's no words, and you're looking at the mouse, looking at this lion and getting scared, and the lion's messing with the mouse and just teasing them. And so you have a little mouse, and you're just making up a story as you flip the pages.
Why is that important for a child?
Because a child doesn't know the ABCs yet. They're 3 years old, but they sure know what pictures look like. Their imagination can just go beyond. And it's interesting, it's the same page, but you have 2, 3 different children reading it different, because one is probably reading it in the eyes of the lion, and another one might be reading it in the eyes of the mouse.
And starting with picture books that they can use their own imagination can lead to books with a couple of words on them.
Well, they'll pick up a book when they go to school. They'll be anxious to pick up a book, and chemistry book. I mean, who wants to pick up a chemistry book? But if you grew up picking up books, you don't think twice about it. You just go for it. So it's not something that has to be taught at 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade.
It's just natural.
Yes, and that's what we're trying to do at a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And you have a program for people in the community to get involved with reading, and that's called Lavender Book?
Libros.
Lavender Libros.
Okay. Lavender, where we're at, and Libros. And what Lavender Libros is really exciting, Diane, because Lavender Libros allows the community to come together and do something and give back. So what we do is we look for community leaders, doctor, fireman, a police officer, a school teacher, a mother, a father, a banker. They come and they reach out to us, and they can reach out through Global Give a Book, which is ggab.org, and join our newsletter at that time, but also let us know you're interested in reading and what your profession is or what your background is. We do have a little clip on the website. It's by this gentleman that he lived here, Carl Brady, and he was a professor at UNM. Well, now he's in the Gulf of Mexico. He's retired. And so he read one of our books in the Gulf of Mexico with the dolphins. Dolphins like to read. So you see, he gave back by just reading that, so we captured it, and now a child can go to the YouTube and experience a book. We have other events with the food pantries where we have UNM reading tutors that will go, which is part of the Lavender Libros, which will go to the food pantry, and as the parents are getting resources and stuff, the reading tutor reads to them, and then the child gets to take a book home with them.
Oh, they're actually at the pantries, I imagine, on Saturdays or
Saturdays. It depends on the pantry when they want to have it. They let their participants know when is the best time to go.
So when maybe mom and dad are shopping for food,
yes,
the UNM student,
the student will read to them. No, not when they're shopping for where they. Yeah, I guess so. But it's mainly when they're writing. When you go to a food pantry, you need other resources. You're low income, and you might need some Medicaid information written. So the parents are busy trying to get all the resources that they can. And so that's when the UNM student comes and kind of distracts them and reads to them while they're waiting. The parents are still there, and then they take a book with them. So.
Now, Lavender Libros, is that part of Global Give a Book, or is that run by the city of Albuquerque?
No, the city of Albuquerque, Cynthia Borrego started this program. during the pandemic, just to get the community involved. After the pandemic, which this was January 2022, the years are going by so quickly, she awarded us the whole program. So now the whole program belongs to Global Give a Book. And so we can get the community leaders involved.
And so what, for a person who's watching who might want to get involved, what do they need to do?
They go to ggab.org and they just send us an email through the website that they're interested, their profession, what they want, and we'll select a book for them, and then we'll schedule a time where they can be filmed to be read. Or if they have high quality, now the cameras are so good, they can film themselves and submit it to us. But we'll give them the instructions. The first thing is get involved, reach out to us, and we'll give you the next step.
And they read the book,
And
show
they
the
read the book.
pictures, and
Yes.
then you put it on your
Just-
webpage?
Just like this. And you know how we always spread to little children? You read the book and then you show the picture. And then you read the next page and then you show the little ones. And that's how we do it. So that,
Do you point out things in the page
yes,
as well?
and like if you see this one in Carl Brady, that is a very good illustration of how it's done. Because he's actually reading about dolphins and then he's showing the children the book, the pages of the illustration.
So people can volunteer. You've had, I think, on your website some doctors, some.
Yes, when the city had it, we had the mayor read there and different politicians and directors of different organizations as well. They were, they came on. And so we're just working on perfecting it and making it very useful friendly for everybody.
And so if
the
kids,
children
they're
are-
on the internet, have them go
Yeah.
to your page and actually hear a story.
And you know
rather
how
than
good it
search
makes
for
the
games.
doctor feel? It makes the doctor feel really good to give back. And this is the perfect way to do it.
Kind of an easy way as well.
Yeah.
Not too difficult. And out in the community, I think maybe 3 times a year, the villages. Tell me about
So
that.
Lavender Libros, we do it in July. It's called Lavender Libros in the Village. And that's during our Lavender Festival.
So
in
which
July.
village? The village of
In Rio
Albuquerque?
Rancho. The big one, they have like almost 8,000 to 10,000 participants. It's huge. It's the biggest in the country, so we've partnered up with them. This is this coming July will be our 3rd annual that we've worked with them.
Oh, so it's lavender,
Yeah.
or it's lavender in,
In
the,
the-
village of Rio Rancho.
Of Rio Rancho.
Okay.
And so we partner up with them and promote the Lavender Libros. That's the first
At
one.
that event in Rio Rancho. Okay.
And then the one we just had was Lavender Libros in the Sky. And that one was at the International Balloon Museum. And we do the same thing, it's just promoting. And like the Lavender in the Village, we gave over 650 books to the children that were there just coming to the lavender. It's a lavender festival, and we have a booth, and we encourage youth literacy. And we did the same thing at the Balloon Museum this past Balloon Fiesta, so next year we'll do the same thing. And it's just to bring the awareness. That's why we have the events, is we partner up with something as big as the Balloon Fiesta and let them know youth literacy is important. Let's pay attention. Let's take the next step as a community to make sure that our children are not left behind.
Sylvia Maser, why do you have such passion for this, for literacy, youth literacy?
I did not grow up reading books. I was a mother of immigrants, so I didn't have books like this with me. But like I mentioned before, I was a single mother of 5 children, and I realized that my children need a well-rounded education and just books in order for them to succeed in life. And so they're strong leaders in the community now. I have 5 children, and they're all above the age of 31. So they have done, 2 of them went to the, Texas Tech. One got his master's. One was in the Army. He's a Chief Warrant Officer 3. And the other one was in the Army too, and he got some awards with that. Not growing up with books until I went into college.
You felt robbed, maybe.
Yeah, I just didn't know the importance. It's hard to know that you were robbed when you didn't know it was that vital, that important. Parents that are immigrants are not always in front of the PTA and the school board and everything that's going on. So I just didn't pay much attention to it, but it always stayed in my heart how vital, especially during the pandemic. It really, because I've been giving out books for over 17 years, but during the pandemic I realized we're not paying attention to our children. We need to do something now. And that's when, as the founder, I came up with Global because I wanted to go around the world, not just in New Mexico, but it's important to take care of your backyard first.
You have what's the Duke City Gladiators?
The Duke City Gladiators, they helped us with an event we had last summer, and we gave away 500 backpacks to the children around what would it be, by, it was Church Alive on Irving and Golf Course, so almost Rio Rancho, but a lot of the children came. So the Gladiators participated in helping us give backpacks with books, and then the community came together and supplied pencils and markers and rulers and erasers. So we filled up the backpack with the children, getting them ready and preparing them for the school year.
You also had Trunk or Treat program. What's Trunk or Treat?
Trunk or Treat, that was mainly, it's an event that is done yearly just to keep the children safe during this time, right? This area. So what we did is we partnered with them and gave them books, so as the children got candies, they got a book.
Wow. Little free libraries, you're working with them as well. Tell us about the I see them when I go out for a walk. Oh,
that's a national organization, and we happen to have a free library at our headquarters as well. But it is where you build a library, and
it's kind of like a box.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be cute. It's supposed to be like a little house, a little library house. And most of them are creative. Not all of them are just box. And you see a few in Nob Hill, in the neighborhood area. And so the idea is, if you've already read a book, you put the book, open the library, leave it there, and get a new one. So it's a swap. And so what we did one year is we went around all the libraries. Well, we had a database, because the free little library is all, they have it, you're registered. So you know exactly where they're at. You just go to the little free libraries. And so we went and went to about, I don't know, quite a few stops, and gave them 10 new books in each new stop. So when the child came, they were able to.
Got a brand new one with a.
Yeah, so they can swap their book, but they took a brand new one with them.
That's crazy. And you're also working with the Animal Humane Society.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and we've been giving them books, so when they come to adopt, that's mainly the grandparents. They love cats. They grab the cats, and so they get a packaged award-winning book that goes with them when they adopt a cat or a dog. So that's what we've been doing for 3 years, going on 3 years with them too.
Now that's a unique relationship.
Yes, well, we started with a reading with Shepherd Daisy, and so encouraging the children to read to the animals, it made sense. And so that's when I reached out to them and let them know we have this program, but we can't be there all the time. But if we give you books, will you give them to the children that come to adopt? And they have. And
wow, you're all over. That's too cool.
We're all over if it has to do with pre-literacy, because that is so important, Diane.
You have a number of volunteers, more than 40 volunteers working for your organization. Yes. Tell me what they do.
Our volunteers are amazing. For the Lavender in the Village, we had 44 volunteers that just showed up. Well, they're all registered. They want to make sure that we're all in. But they went around the whole festival introducing youth literacy and sending them to our booth so that they can sign up for our newsletter. And we have a newsletter. You go to ggab.org, sign up for the newsletter, and that just gives you an opportunity to see how you can get involved, what we've done, what we're currently doing, and what we're going to do, what events we have, and what other ways you can get involved. And so, and we also, at the Lavender Libros in the Sky, we had about 25 volunteers that just, they know about us, and they just kind of follow us, and they want to just spread the youth literacy program. So volunteers are amazing, and they donate and they get behind the cause. And one volunteer can speak to tens of people, and it spreads pretty fast.
The emphasis is for low-income families. A lot of these events, of course, are for everybody, which
Yes.
is great. But how do you concentrate on the low income? I think through the food pantry, of course, giving
Yes.
the food through that.
We have partnered up with agencies that deal specifically with low-income children. And so I think you have the the other one. Let me just show you, because this is important. So these are agencies like United Way, the Laundry Love. We've given them books. When the parents that don't have money to even do their laundry, they come while they're doing their laundry, they get a book. Is that amazing? And then, of course, the Animal Humane, we talked about. APS Title I schools. Those are the homeless children that don't have an opportunity to forget a quality book. They don't even have a book. And they're homeless. So we work with APS Title I schools to make sure that they have books to go to the children. The Family Advocate Center, of course, they deal with parents that are stressed and have difficulties. And so while the child is waiting, while the parents are getting that intake, they can have a book.
You must give out a lot of books, Sylvia Maser. There's a lot of books.
I did tell you before, it's worth noting that they're individually packaged by Stride, which are special need adults. And so we've done close to, if I check, because my accountant always has to make sure how many books do you have so far, 20,000 books. And we're looking at a lot more, because we have signed agreements with the food pantry, St. Felix, with the community pantry, with the Roadrunner, with in Santa Fe, we do a lot with the food pantry in Santa Fe, the food depot. So the signed agreements are already allocated for the children that are already coming in. Now we need the funding, so we can be at 100% capacity. So every child that they touch will have a book. And so that's why we need everybody's help and support.
And how can they help? How can they help?
The best way to come, we're looking for monthly funders, $10, $25 a month. That gives us the security of knowing what we're going to do next month. We do a lot of grants, but it's so much, it's really hits my heart when somebody donates even $10, $25 a month. Then we can count on it for the next month. So if you can afford $25, it's going to a fantastic cause. It's already proven. We have, you can visit with any of these pantries. They'll tell you how well the book is received. But that's one of the things.
How much do these quality books cost?
Well, they're obviously
for the general public. How much do they cost?
Most of these books are up in $17, $18, $21. If you go to this one is one of the most famous ones that they have at the museums, all over the country. I've seen them in different museums. And this one runs for $21. The publishers give them to us at a discounted price, but still with shipping and everything. But we have had people tell us, why don't you just get a paperback? They won't go the next generation, and it's not something that will be kept. With a quality book, I'm telling you, the parents will keep them for the next year and the next year. They're not too quick to trash them.
Let's hope not.
So the life is longer if they're hardcover and quality.
That's true. You also have a book, The Giving Stories. Tell me a little bit about this.
The Giving Stories it's a book compiled of 15 authors. And the 15 authors are from founders of nonprofits. And we all came together last year and decided, let's all write our story. What's our passion to make this going? Some of the stories are really heartfelt, and you just feel like, oh my God.
And what did you tell about your story, Sylvia Maser?
I spoke mainly of being a single mother of 5 children, and as my children were growing up, and how successful that they are now in society, and how difficult it was trying to make sure they get fed and yet knowing that they need a good quality book. I wasn't going to spend my last dollar on a book when I knew that they needed bread. And so my story is mainly how passionate I was on making sure that the children in food pantries had books.
And some stories you told me in our other program about a child entering school didn't even know how to open a book. We have just 1 minute left. What other story can you leave us about what we might be surprised about out there?
Statistically, there's one book for every 300 low-income children. I didn't make that up. I didn't even believe it when I first read it until I started talking to educators, and they're telling me one after another the same story, is that the child comes in and they don't even know what a book looks like, how they open it, they bang the book, they smack the book, and they hold it upside down unless they really focus on a car or something. So forget the educator being stressed on teaching the child 1, 2, 3, ABC. It's let's do a book. Open the book from right to left. And if we start them early, they can go right into reading when they're in first, second, third, and so forth on. In every career you can think of, even a mother baking a cake starts with literacy. We have to start at a young age, just to an introduction of pre-literacy is really my passion. I believe that will solve a lot of even the crime.
And give the kids a chance.
Give the children an equal level chance to succeed like everybody else.
Sylvia Maser, thank you so much for sharing about your work, your passion, and also how others in the community can get involved with Global Give a Book.
Diane, thank you so much for having me here. This is what is going to help us spread the word of youth literacy.
A lot of churches can get involved and community organizations
please do.
as well. Very much so. Thank you so much for watching this program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. Make it a great week with your family. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
The New Mexico Modern Child Support Family Program works to benefit both parents for the purpose of improving children's lives. It provides the basics of child support, but goes further by helping parents step up to find better job opportunities that get them back on track to paying their monthly child support obligation. Find out how the Child Support Step Up program can help your modern family. Contact New Mexico Child Support today to learn more.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program or to purchase a copy of any Issues and Answers program, visit sunbroadcasting.org or call us at 505-345-1991.